Hello and welcome everyone to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am here with another special guest, Mr. Rituraj Mahato. Rituraj is an IBM champion and he is known for his exceptional expertise in mainframe technology. In this episode, we are going to talk about his projects, the one which he has completed so far, and his overall journeys with this mainframe technology. But before diving into this discussion, I'd like to thank Rituraj for joining us today. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
So, hi everyone. As Amit has already introduced me here, I'm Rituraj Mahato, a final year student at Vellore Institute of Technology, and I have been in the mainframe space for 2 years, more than 2 years now, and met a lot of wonderful people, grew the community out there, and actually helped students get into the mainframe space.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you for the introduction, Rituraj. And now we would like to hear more about your journey. So can you please tell us a little bit about how you got started with the mainframe computing? And did you take a specific course in your first semester that sparked your interest into this technology, or how you initiated with this?
So in my case, the things were really different. So the journey itself is, I will just explain it. I always aspired to work in tech and become a public speaker in technology, but that wasn't who I was when I joined the university for the first time. I realized that I needed to improve both on my technical front as well as the soft skills. To achieve this, I decided to join a community, but there were so many options available out there. So which one to choose? So I initially applied to a Microsoft advocacy program but was rejected, which was quite disheartening for me at that time. However, at the same time, I also applied to the IBM Z Student Ambassador program, and fortunately, I was selected. This marked the beginning of my journey, and without that program, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would like to say that at that moment, I realized that, okay, trying to do something which not many people are doing. So when I first started, I was quite skeptical about the platform, the IBM Z and Linux One platform, but now I can confidently say that it was the best decision I ever made.
Okay, so like you, as you mentioned, you have initiated this journey and you took some steps, and you also faces some setbacks also. And maybe it's related to your Microsoft journey or other things. So, what piece of advice would you like to give those students who are who are also interested in pursuing this same career? So, what piece of advice would you like to give them?
So see, like if we say the technical difficulties, so which I faced back then and sometimes even now, much of what I dealt with in terms of mainframes were never taught in university classrooms. And there were very limited resources available out there when I initially started with mainframes. Now, if you say we have already launched the Mainframe Skills Council, IBM Z Explore has been developed quite a lot in the last 3 years. So now the resources are much more engaging as well as fun to learn. Back then, it was really limited resource available on the internet to learn mainframes. So that was one of the technical difficulties which I faced. And while learning and exploring challenges on IBM Z Explore, I often encountered numerous errors. Like, for instance, after submitting a JCL, it showed CC and then 4 times 0. So if you get that, everything will be fine. But if it shows CC0127, it indicated something was wrong, and I had to figure out that myself. So I frequently posted my queries in the forums and waited for responses from the admins. Initially, I hesitated to ask other mainframers for help because I didn't know many of them at that time, which caused me to spend more time than necessary to complete those challenges. And it took about a year before I started receiving proper guidance from other mainframers. I attended my university classes during the day, completed assignments and quizzes, and studied in the evening. And most of my mainframe learning would be done at night. So by my second and third years at university, I was thinking about mainframe platform day and night, continuously learning and growing my knowledge. And being active on LinkedIn and sharing what I know is one of the things which literally put me in that position.
Okay. So, Rituraj, what I believe, like everyone faces challenges when they start something new. So, I'm assuming that you might have faced the same thing, maybe in your initial days. So, can you share some of the roadblocks or you have encountered when you started the things in your first year? Or were there any specific technical hurdles or maybe the non-technical challenges you faced during these initiation day?
Yeah, so first of all, the from a non-technical point of view, initially when you learn something new, you don't know anyone in the community, so you have no one to ask for, and generally people just try to get into the forums and Q&A sessions to just clear their doubts. So that was one of the things. And then second is, when you see your peers are not doing what you are doing, then that creates a really big hurdle for you. How would you even fit in that space where everyone is talking about cloud computing, AI? Now everyone is jumping towards Gen AI. So we have all these technologies integrated with the mainframes, but it's now my duty to tell them, okay, you are talking about these technologies which are quite flashy, new, but these are already available and implemented on a mainframe. The main thing is there's a lack of awareness, and that's what we want to change. The roadblock for learning would be people are not actually aware of why they should learn this thing. We are just seeing the job aspect of it. Okay, this one is having more job opportunities than other, but that's not how it works. If someone is saying data science is having plenty of job opportunity, that doesn't mean that you will be getting one of those flashy offers out there. The main thing is, if you are good at whatever you are doing, you can eventually make a career in any of the fields in technology, whether it be cloud, blockchain, web dev, any of this, name it.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with this. And collaboration, as you mentioned earlier, also that you are highly active on that social media platforms like LinkedIn. So yeah, we need a collaboration because if you are facing some challenges, there are some experts available. They can like even they can help, they can guide you better. So collaboration is one thing that maybe we can give as a tip or advice for those who recently started their career. So it's a recommendation for all that you should join the LinkedIn platform or any other official platform through which you can communicate with the experts of your particular domain. Now, I'd like to talk a bit about the mainframes. So, mainframes are often seen as a legacy system, but there are a lot of advantages as well. So that people might not be aware of it. So, as per your experiences, what are some of the key benefits of mainframe computing that you think get overlooked? I would say.
So, from my perspective, I would say that the key advantages of mainframes, which are often overlooked, are scalability, reliability, security, and virtualization. So, I can add any other things like performance is a big thing, but we'll be just talking about these four. Not many people know that virtualization was first introduced and implemented on mainframes as a time sharing option way before cloud computing came into picture. So we say big data analytics is a problem as data is increasing rapidly. We have seen exponential growth in the data production across all major industries in the last 10 years. And in some cases, it's better to store our data on premise rather than migrating everything to the cloud. So it's expensive. Like modernization means even trying to migrate the whole mainframe workload and data to the cloud platforms, which is not a really good option out there, just because the cost involved in doing that and changing everything because of the architectural issues and concerns, it's not an easy task, and it's really expensive. So can you mention any other system which provides less than 3 seconds of downtime per year? I guess you can't, just because mainframe platforms are the only platforms I know which can provide less than 3 seconds of downtime. And that's a really big claim. I have seen people saying mainframes are old and legacy, but let me tell you why it's not. We have seen some major updates in terms of security, performance, and more in the last 5 years. For example, we used to have pervasive encryption on IBM Z14, which secured the data at rest as well as in motion. Then later, the innovation continued, and now we have seen the implementation of confidential computing on IBM Z and leveraging both the mainframe and cloud platform. This solution is enabling clients to secure the data which is being used. And on top of that, we also have the industry's first quantum safe technology, cloud services, mobile app, you name it. They are ultimate team players in the tech world. People say mainframes are very expensive, and they are right in some ways. But if you calculate the total cost of ownership over the period of 10 years and more, then mainframes are cost efficient as compared to hundreds of those x86 based servers running out there. And even in terms of sustainability and energy efficiency, mainframes are still the king.
Okay, so by this statement, you are completely breaking out all those myths which is around a mainframe that it is about to dead and nowadays no one is going to use the mainframe. So with this explanation, I think it is clear to everyone that no mainframe has good future and like there are many organizations who are still utilizing it and even it is evolving by the time. Okay. So yeah, what all emerging technology do you believe that have the most significant impact on mainframe computing in the next few years?
So, according to me, I believe that AI/ML, hybrid cloud integrations, quantum computing, blockchain, DevOps tools and technologies, and IoT integration would have a significant impact on mainframes. And these technologies would drive innovation, efficiency, and new capabilities in the mainframe computing.
Okay. Okay, and Rituraj, let's say if someone is there who is interested to start their career into mainframe, okay. So just for those person, can you please elaborate in a very simpler way, like what all initial step they are supposed to do, like how they can start learning, where they can get the platform to use it, okay, and what all things like if there is any certification or anything they can use in order to learn the technology. So could you please elaborate in a simpler term?
Yeah. So, if we are talking about a beginner, just like any other student who is just trying to get in the university and learning his first course, for mainframes, we have the most important platform, the IBM Z Explore, which was initially launched as the Master the Mainframe contest and then later transformed to IBM Z Explore with a lot of challenges. It would cover everything from the basic Python scripts, Java, C++, then we have RACF, COBOL, JCL. So you actually know what this technology is all about, and you will be getting a free mainframe instance. So you'll be getting the ZID and password to access a part of a mainframe from any of your devices. And we will be doing that with modern tools like VS Code. And we have a Zoe extension out there to make that happen, the connection between your computer and the mainframe. And once you log in, you have your own files. You can work with data sets and all. And in the platform, there are so many resources available which are exactly what is needed. They are explaining things like what is a partition data set, what is a sequential data set, what are these things used for, like these kind of things would be there. And this would be a really beginner friendly approach to start in the mainframe world. And you will be getting now we have three certifications. It's like an industry standard industry badge, which is a concepts badge, an advanced badge, and an all-star badge. So these badges are recognized by a lot of companies like Ensono, Accenture, Wipro, TCS around the industry. They know about IBM Z Explore and they are really happy about it. That now students can learn about this technology from the comfort of their home free of charge. And it's not just for students. If you are even someone who is trying to reskill yourself, you can still use it. If you want to polish your concepts, you can still use that. And then we have an open Gitbook kind of setup where you can learn about mainframe. So that's even basic than IBM Z Explore. That explains what are the career roles available in mainframes, what is a mainframe, what are the. Now it's better or something?
Okay, so thank you, Ritraj, for explaining all this process. And I think now, as you mentioned, that there is no need to pay anything if you are interested to learn any new technology, if, especially specifically for the mainframe. Then you can simply follow those steps which you just mentioned. And I think by following those steps, anyone can learn the technology with a easier way. Okay. So, is there any specific areas within the mainframe or technology in general that you are particularly excited to explore further, because you have explored many things in a mainframe? So, any other topic in which you are currently working?
So I'm really excited about mainframe modernization, both in terms of the application and data modernization out there. And I look forward in diving deeper into this field and expanding my knowledge in the future.
Okay. Okay. So, what are some of the most valuable lessons you have learned about the mainframe and enterprise computing over the past year? Because you have right now you are doing your graduation, but you have explored many things, right? And you are in a network of good experts as well. So, what you have learned? What all lessons are there?
So I would say in today's world of information technology, change is the only constant.
Right.
Mainframes have been around for decades, laying the foundation for many technological advances. Then came the cloud, a transformative revolution that reshaped IT. But cloud isn't the only new technology which we have seen in the past few years. We have seen AI, augmented reality, edge computing, and with the usage which is increasing in terms of the social media content consumption and all, we have edge computing use cases everywhere. So, with so many new technologies promising greater efficiencies and productivity, it's easy to get distracted by the latest trends. However, what are the most valuable lessons to learn about the mainframes? First of all, security is key and of utmost importance to any organization out there. Mainframes have stood the test of time largely due to their unmatched security. Known as the gold standard for reliability, they feature robust encryption, access controls, and audit capabilities. Newer technologies must prioritize security just as mainframes have done to gain long term trust and stability. Then we have seen mainframes have continually evolved to meet the growing needs of industries. And their ability to integrate with cloud, for instances, arose from changing industry demands. This adaptability is crucial lesson for emerging technologies out there. Their value lies not just in standalone application capabilities, but in how they integrate with existing tech ecosystem. So many think that mainframes are legacy computers, but they play a vital role in our daily lives. Whether withdrawing money from ATM or booked a flight, or we say mainframes work behind the scenes. So most of the people are not aware of what they are doing is actually managed and maintained within a mainframe system. This highlight the importance of becoming an integral part of our lives, and that's what makes mainframe relevant.
Yeah, that's completely true, because nowadays everyone is using technology and they are not aware like whether it is backend by the mainframe or any other technology. So yeah, it is still in use and on a very broader way, I would say. So yeah, now moving to the next question, like as you have explored many things and you have worked upon various projects as well, right? So could you please tell about who are some of the people, or I would say the mentors, who have had a significant impact on your career, and what lessons you have learned from them?
Yeah, so there were many. So first, I would like to talk about Sudarshana Srinivasan. She is the IBM Z advocacy manager, uh, currently in United States, and she always said that always consider and not or. Like most of the students out there would be like, should I learn COBOL or Java? Should I do this or that? But she always mentioned like you should do and not the or, because in some or the other ways it might be useful in the future. And learning something different is something which I took from there. Then I met my first professor at my university, Dr. J. Karthikeyan, and he often used to say Aristotle quote, which is, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act but a habit." So, if we actually analyze this quote, we will realize that it's not something which is really new. We all know that, but we are not able to achieve our goals just because we have a bad perception about it, like we can't do it and something like that. So if we are trying to do something again and again repeatedly, then maybe we can be someone who we never thought we could be. And we all have certain dreams, but most of us would not have the courage to actually pursue our dreams. And sometimes, in some cases, I can agree that there are circumstances where you're not able to achieve your dreams, but that's absolutely fine. If you aim for stars, you will climb up the mountains. And then I met Dr. Sandeep from my university, and he always advised me to focus on the final goal and not the small achievements along the way. For a lot of people, we focus on the small, short term achievements, and we are really happy with that. But what about the long term goals? At the end of the day, if I'm not able to be what I want to be, then there's no point of all these achievements. Nothing, like if you consider the certifications, the badges and all, the main goal should be to have a good career, to be an influential person, to promote others. It should not be, okay, I want 100 marks in this exam, I want to clear this exam to get into this university. These are certain goals which would not be considered as the final goal and the most important in your life, and how you can actually impact the lives of others. And then I met last year. I met Dr. Um, Last year I met Mr. Anbumani, sir. He is the IBM Distinguished Engineer for System Z, and he provided me an invaluable career advice and tips. And it's really specific to Z, and sometimes for personal life and professional life as well. Then I met my first IBM mentor, Nasser Ibrahim, on a virtual conference, and we discussed about the career roles, possibilities, and he suggested that I should pursue a role requiring specialization that couldn't be easily automated by AI. And that's what we need to understand. If we are learning something which can be easily done by AI in the next 5 to 10 years, then what's the point? Like we
Right.
have seen a massive layoffs in the recent years just because we need to improve the efficiency of systems as well as the uh, organization cost. So what is needed is learn something which makes you unique as well as makes you a specialist, not a generalist as well, because generalists are needed in some cases, but specialist is a route to go for a long term. Then you must be knowing about Letitia Caro. So
Yes.
she is, although not a mentor, yeah, she helped me as a friend. When I asked her what to do during a boring winter vacation, she said, when you don't get opportunities, create them. That advice stayed with me for a long time. We all look for opportunities, but few of us actually create them and help others. The most important mentorship in my journey came from Lord Krishna through the Bhagavad Gita. And I recommend any one of you, if you want to really get ahead in your life, you should read these noble books. It's not just about Gita, I guess, and I believe truly that everything written in these holy books will be similar and will be guiding you towards a proper path and have a successful future ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree with all these points that you mentioned. Consistency is the one thing that everyone should follow, because if you are consistent in learning anything, then by the time you will be able to take over all the challenges that you are facing. And yes, we need a path. So for a better path, we should check out all these things, like whether it's a Bhagavad Gita, or we should explore other things also. It's not only a religious book, it's a kind of guidance for you, so you can just take a knowledge from it, and accordingly you can proceed in your career. So fine. All right, so now Rituraj, I would like to put up last two questions because we have limited time. So I would like to discuss bit about the projects and the program that you have worked upon. So can you please tell us about the open source on mainframes and LFX mentorship program? What is it all about?
So currently IBM Z and Linux One supports a lot of open source tools and technologies, and projects like Linux on IBM Z allows mainframes to run open source software, combining the robustness of mainframes with flexibility and innovation of open source ecosystem. So why to do that? So we'll be discussing that in a bit. So we have Zoe, which is an open source framework that bridges the gap between the modern applications and mainframe systems. As I have already mentioned that Zoe is used to connect your system to the mainframe, and it's you can learn about it through the IBM Z Explore platform as well as by reading the documentation which is available. And it's offering a web-based GUI, CLI tools, and APIs to connect with mainframe and work with the data out there. Then we have Ansible and Jenkins, which are currently in use for automating mainframe operations, allowing for seamless integration with other systems and simplifying management tasks. And like this, there are a lot of modern technologies which are being used on mainframe today. So why open source, you ask? It helps in modernization efforts quite a bit, just because it brings the modern development practices and tools to mainframes, making them more versatile and in such a way that it's cost efficient. It would be reducing the dependency on the proprietary software, and it would eventually lower the cost for the company. So let's say we have a IBM Z, which is we have the Linux One server, which is the IBM Z system configured for running the Linux workloads. So when a client is running all Linux workloads and no ZOS component in it, then he can save quite a lot in the software licensing because Linux is open source. So in case of ZOS, you have to actually pay accordingly. But in Linux, it's open source, so you are saving this in the software, which is offered by IBM. And then in the open source, we have a community and collaboration. By leveraging the collective expertise of the open source community and fostering innovation and problem solving, you can learn a lot. Like I have been selected for the LFX mentorship program this year, and I would be working on the COBOL programming course along with three mentors and one of the other mentees out there. And we will be working on updating the course all way around by implementing the newer version of Zoe and adding the CI/CD pipelines and automation on COBOL. How to do it, you will be getting to know about it in the future when we update the course. And the LFX mentorship program is sponsored by Linux Foundation. It provides opportunity for students and early career professionals to work on open source projects, including those related to mainframes. So you may ask me why to apply for this program. So first reason would be to gain hands-on experience, and then second would be the skills development part of it. Then you have networking, career boost, and community involvement. So when you actually work with your mentors, you gain a lot of technical as well as um, soft skills to actually which will actually help you in your career. And open source is a big thing. Like last year, I was talking to someone at IBM, and he was like, if I see someone contributing to open source, if you have a really good profile in open source development and contributions, I will rather choose that person instead of someone having a flashy degree, having higher CGPA, and all these projects which no anyone can do. Like if you say projects, it's already available online. But what open source is not everyone can do it. It requires commitment, dedication, and a willingness to learn and implement new things.
Okay. All right. So now I'll put up my last question, which is related to the like your Global Academic Internship Program. So which is conducted by the Corporate Gurukul. So how you got involved in it? So could you please explain like what was the process, how you involved in it, and what all things you have implemented there?
So let's first talk about what is GAIP. So GAIP is a university program focusing on experiential on-campus learning at the prestigious NUS Singapore campus, which is in collaboration with either AWS and HP. The program duration was relatively short, and it offered the participants the opportunity to develop and showcase the projects to NUS professors, receive valuable feedback, and gain a unique experience of learning and development. So if you are a student aiming to pursue a master's degree abroad, this program could boost your confidence and enhance your chances of admission, especially in the fields of data science and AI. So during my first year of college, I received a mail from my university's international relation office about this program, which offered the chance to experience life at NUS if selected. So I applied, and after passing the initial test and interview round, I received an offer to join the cohort and begin my learning journey. So I implemented a fresh fruit detection system back then using the deep learning technology. So we use an ensemble learning model out there at last, just because we have to try a lot of different models. So it was a group work. So I collaborated with four other individuals from different universities around India. And then we actually implemented the fresh fruit detection system. And it's actually made to automate that task which is done manually in most of the industries out there. So that was one of the things. And currently this program is open to students from top engineering colleges in India, such as IITs, BITS, NITs, VIT, and others. So actually it's like you have to ask them about whether they are selecting it from your university, But at the end of the day, there are so many experiential learning programs out there. You can actually check from NTU, NUS, then we have some in United States, Australia, Canada as well. So you have to actually search yourself and figure out what is the best opportunity for you, which is suited for your career goals.
Okay, fine. So thank you so much, Rituraj, for sharing all these information with us. I think it would be very beneficial, especially for those who are interested in pursuing their career in the mainframe technology. The lessons that you have shared would be for sure help them in the future. So thank you once again for joining us and for
Yeah,
sharing all these stuff with us. I hope you have also enjoyed the session.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me as such.
Thank you.